Maximilien Robespierre is a key revolutionary figure in the history of the French Revolution. He played a major role in the events that developed between 1792 and 1794 and is usually synonymous with the Reign of Terror. However, it is important to analyze the developments in Robespierre's life before associating him with terror, which spread through the course of the French Revolution. Robespierre was born in May 1758, and he was the eldest of all the siblings. He belonged to a family of lawyers who practiced in Arras in France. His father was a lawyer, and Robespierre himself went to become one in his career later. Robespierre's mother died when she gave birth to his lost sibling. This event has a profound impact on Robespierre's mind. The loss of his mother took away the carefree child within him and made him a more sober and austere person who had to look after his family. This incident had shattered Robespierre's family. His father ruined his life and law practice, and his siblings were taken care of by his relatives. However, Robespierre was sensitive towards his siblings, and they still stayed close. This incident of his childhood can be seen as the first psychological impact on Robespierre's mind, which accelerated his future personality. Another incident in his young years had a grave impact on Robespierre's mind. Robespierre was an intelligent student. At the age of 11, he could secure a scholarship to Lycée Louis Le Grand, a reputed institution in Paris, where he continued to study for the next 12 years. He emerged as a lawyer at the age of 23. During his period of study in the university, Robespierre diligently studied philosophy, literature, and humanities. He was particularly influenced by Jean-Jacques Rousseau's concepts of general will, social contract, and republicanism. Robespierre liked to participate in the essay and debate competitions, and in one such competition, the King Louis XVI and his queen were to preside. Robespierre delivered his speech with much enthusiasm, only to be snubbed by the royal couple, who did not even get down from the carriage. This incident can be seen as a second psychological impact on his mind, as he felt that he was personally violated. Apart from the above two incidents that had a depressing impact on Robespierre's mind, there are positive traits to his character. Robespierre, as mentioned earlier, was a diligent student. The ideas of enlightenment, especially Rousseau, had a significant impact on him. Also, he was attracted to the studies on classical traditions, which might probably be one of the reasons why he still dressed himself as a man of old regime, even though he turned out to be a revolutionary politician. Robespierre was a man of conviction, not a hypocrite. As Mirabeau quoted, "He will go far. He believes in everything he says." Robespierre truly believed what he preached, which led him so far in the course of the French Revolution. Unlike other revolutionary figures who happened to be charismatic in their appearance and speech, Robespierre was not. He did not have a grand appearance, nor could his speeches attract many people, which was usually banal and lengthy, even though he delivered. So how did Robespierre continue to have a role in the French Revolution? It was not his physical appearance, but his strong conviction and moral altruism that helped him achieve important positions in latter part of his life. But it is also to be remembered that the very positive beliefs he nurtured dug a grave for him in the end. Robespierre had a dangerous tendency to believe that all his thoughts and actions were absolutely right, which made him think that any disagreement with him was an act of ingenuity and unrighteousness. He could not tolerate dissent. Interestingly, Robespierre found nationalism as that space where his personal convictions could take shape, as every activity he claimed was devoted to France. It was as if France demanded it. As historian James Michael Egan puts it, Egan also says that Robespierre utilized patriotism for his personal ambitions unconsciously, nonetheless actually. The incidents that Robespierre witnessed in his growing years and his thorough belief in Rousseau's ideals made him channel all his views towards nationalism, where France became his national family through his own conceptions of virtuousness and righteousness. Robespierre was initially a lawyer and an episcopal judge before he proceeded with his revolutionary politician career. As George Root noted, he was a poor man's advocate. Indeed, Robespierre was a champion of human rights and even hesitated to sentence a man to death, though he was found guilty. So, how is Robespierre associated with the Reign of Terror? Initially, Robespierre became a member of the French National Assembly, took part in the Tennis Court Oath of 1789, and gradually rose to become an important member in the Committee of Public Safety in 1793. France was in national crisis and financial distress, and in this atmosphere of chaos, internal security was very important. Robespierre featured in a committee which was responsible exactly for that. Very soon, this committee became a de facto revolutionary government, with Robespierre as a well-known public figure. But Robespierre was not alone in this committee, so all the decisions needed a majority vote, and Robespierre was not always on the winning side. The committee hence was collectively responsible for all its activities. In 1792, Robespierre had driven out Girondists. It is to be seen that in revolutionary politics, one party driven out by an opponent seeks revenge when it returns to power. Similarly, the Girondists started to target Robespierre for all the terror activities. He became a visible scapegoat to all the members who pushed terror activities in his name. But as Aurore Palmer asserted, we cannot fathom who exactly did what. The Committee of Public Safety was collectively responsible for all its activities. Robespierre had an arduous struggle to get to the position in his life. So anyone who denounced the Republic turned anti-revolutionary in his eyes. When he joined the Jacobin Club, which was the radical left that could excite the mob in Paris, he became a prominent figure in the public eye due to his conviction. Also, France was facing external and internal rebellions at this time. The allied foreign powers were attacking France from outside, whereas the conservative royalists were demanding a restoration of monarchy in France. In such times of chaos and confusion, dissent was not much appreciated. Therefore, the Reign of Terror unleashed, where the revolutionaries and the sans-culottes, with their aggressive vigor, targeted and lashed out at everyone who showed even minimal signs of dissent. Guillotine became its symbol. Robespierre, the visible public personality who could be associated with terror. France became an internal location where the revolutionaries could show their might. The Parliament of France could exonerate itself from the people's questions and found a convenient way to push all the terror activities on Robespierre. Robespierre approved of terror in principle. In 1794, he famously said Terror without virtue is cruel, but virtue without terror is impotent. By this, it is clear that he did approve of certain amount of terror to uphold the pillar of virtue, but the magnitude of terror that continued later went out of his hands because the local authorities pictured a centralized procedure of guillotine in their mind, which was not orchestrated by Robespierre originally. So, even when Robespierre was not in the public eye, terror activities were carried out in his name. Of course, the terror that he was accountable to cannot be defensible. But to consider terror as an extension of one's personality would also not justify the larger frame. So, rather than a master, Robespierre was victim of the circumstances in which he found himself situated. His true beliefs did not make him to see the other side of the picture. Revolutionary figures start out with radical ideas, but when they standardize those ideas after assuming power, the ideas lose their radical element, even if the motives were positive. Hence, all the policies that Robespierre had been associated with boomeranged with his death by guillotine, which sealed his fate in the end.